Hey, greetings good people, and welcome to another episode of MOSHBITS. I have to tell you, I had a full day of benchmarking my old GTX 1070 yesterday, and today I'm starting with the RTX 3070, so you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that video to come out, but the unboxing is already live on my channel, so if you haven't watched it, then you can go and do that after you're done with this video. But today, I want to bring you some tech news before I can move on, so get subscribed, and then let's start with the news. Because the AMD 6800 XT ASUS of Singularity benchmarks have leaked, and the performance numbers show that the 6800 XT trades blows with the RTX 3080 and 3090 from NVIDIA. Now normally I do say wait a bit for gaming benchmarks, and this is indeed a gaming benchmark, but knowing that this game is only played by a dozen of people, out of which 11 are reviewers and one of them is a lonely developer, I can say that you should probably wait 2 more days until the official reviews do come out for those cards. So far, only the reference designs have made it to the media, which makes me think that it's possible we'll see custom designs come out a week or 2 later, as pointed out by some earlier leaks. And let's hope that when custom models eventually do come out, they won't cost as much as they were shown on a Finnish retailer's website. The SAPPHIRE NITRO and NITRO Plus cards would be pretty pricey in that case, and the normal RX 6800 was shown to cost about 730 euros, with the NITRO and NITRO Plus 6800 XT being anywhere between 830 and 865 euros respectively. Now do keep in mind that the reference board prices are, or should be, as follows, and of course I'm making a 1-to-1 US dollar to euro conversion, so let me read them out to you. 579 euros for the RX 6800, 649 euros for the RX 6800 XT, and 999 for the RX 6900 XT. All in all, I'd expect those prices to be valid here in Europe, but I'd also expect that what has happened on the Finnish retailer is probably a bug or the company trying to avoid leaking the actual price for those cards. But if those prices are true, then imagine how much this RX 6800 XT ROG STRIX would cost, because this mammoth of a card has a 240mm rad strapped to it, and it should deliver some top-notch performance. Now let's hope that Steve from Gamers Nexus will also get one and try to overclock the snot out of this card, because that would make for some very interesting content. Now either way, I wanted you guys to tell me if you would buy such a card, because I don't know, I haven't seen that many out in the wild myself, and I've never done a build with one of them, but this kind of still reminds me of the EVGA models, where they would also strap a 120mm or 240mm rad to those cards. And heck, did you think I would mention EVGA and not talk about their RTX 3080 and 3090 Hydro Copper and Hybrid series cards? Well, my friends, then think again, because EVGA is launching 2 new 3080 hybrid cards, each with a 240mm rad, and 2 new hybrid cards, those being the 3090 in this case, with a very same insane 240mm rad. Now the RTX 3080 and 3090 are also getting their Hydro Copper series cards, both with addressable RGB, so you can make sure your PC will look like total unicorn vomit. Just to make things simple, these cards are both the For the Win 3 and XT3 models, hence the many variants available for purchase. You should expect the XT3 Hydro Copper to be one of the cheapest of the bunch at $809 US, and the Ultra Hybrid for about $779 US. The top of the line For the Win 3 Ultra Hydro Copper, probably 5G Max Ultra Pro Maximus whatever, will net you $1,849 US, the same price as your liver most probably. But now I think it's also time to talk about something else than graphics cards, because unsurprisingly, TSMC has put out orders for their new EUV tools to manage the supply of these insane orders that they're getting, and considering they're supplying both Apple and AMD, and by extension Sony and Microsoft, and allegedly NVIDIA for some of their new unreleased 30 series cards, you should have absolutely zero surprises that the company is looking to expand. After all, TSMC has also seen increased demand for their 28nm chips about 2 weeks ago, and they're ramping up their 3nm node production. And, despite the eye-watering $2.3 million that they've spent on new gear, I'd actually expect them to make a lot more money in the coming years. And speaking about making a lot of money, Chromebooks and tablet sales have gone through the roof in Q3 of 2020, with an overall 23% growth compared to the same period last year. Now, the biggest growth has been reported for Chromebooks with about 122% in this case, but don't let that fool you, since that's only 9.2 million compared to 125 million in total. Apple makes a third of the tablets sold, and I expect that these new ARM-based MacBooks will also sell massively, since at the moment they're looking like a serious PC and Chromebook competitor. So, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think that they're actually going to sell a lot more than they previously have? But until I hear from you, I think it's also time to talk about the Galaxy S21, which is set to release in January, and as we're approaching 2021, it's obviously time to get more and more leaks about it. However, it seems like we won't be getting a Note 21 next year, with a Galaxy Z Fold Fan Edition being in the works, and I assume that one is going to replace it for whatever reason. Now, the S21 will also have a ton of different specs, including the camera module, which should be the best on the S21 Ultra. In this new weird lineup, only the S21 Ultra should get 4 rear cameras with a huge second generation 108 megapixel camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, and 10 megapixel cameras, with one of them being a 3x and the other one being a 10x optical zoom. So far, we know almost everything except the pricing for those phones, including the battery size, the chips, and the housing. The S21 will allegedly feature a plastic back, which is surprising to say the least, especially if this phone will actually cost over $800. Now, what do you think about it? Are you excited for these new flagships, or are you going to skip them altogether? If not, then maybe you are going to be excited about getting your hands on a smart monitor from Samsung. And yes, my friends, that's a thing right now, and you'll be soon able to get your hands on an M5 or M7 monitor. At a first glance, the monitor looks just like any other, but lo and behold, the monitor runs Samsung's Tizen OS and can connect to the Wi-Fi, stream HDR10 content, and can also install other apps. It can connect via Type-C as well as NFC because it supports wireless DeX connections, so that's pretty interesting to have. And with regards to size, you can get the M5 in either 27 or 32 inch and the M7 in 32 inches with a 4K display. Samsung will be selling the M5 and M7 really soon, with prices ranging from anywhere between $230 to $400, so definitely acceptable, especially if you're looking for a new 4K monitor. And speaking of things that should come out very soon, hopefully, CYBERPUNK was showcased in a broadcast by Das ERSTE, a well-known German TV channel, and there we've seen some more footage of Night City, its characters, the character creation tool, and we'll also learn more about CDPR's vision and stance as a Polish company developing such a title. And of course, we've seen more of Keanu Reeves, which I guess it's what everyone wants to see at this point. And if you do want to see that, I'll make sure to link the original video in the description so I won't have to deal with any copyright strikes from the original broadcast, because that would be pretty awful to say the least. And let's hope that this time around the game won't get delayed again, because it feels bad to know that this should have released in like 3 days from now, but now it's been delayed to the 10th of December. But oh well, I guess we'll wait. And hopefully, if they manage to release this on the 10th of December as they planned, they'll also be able to sell as much as Call of Duty's new Black Ops Cold War game. I mean, we're still battling human malware, and it sure seems like people can't get enough of games or hardware, and we also can't manage to stop it, so in this case, maybe they're also gonna sell big time. Now, in the case of the new COD game, Friday's release turned out to be a record-breaking day. It was the highest first day in terms of digital sales worldwide in the franchise's history, and I'm a bit shocked that people are still buying a new Call of Duty game year after year. But hey, it's still interesting to see that Battle.net finally got an update which lets you download parts of the game, and guess there is now no excuses for me not to download this game and benchmark it for you guys. But worry not, because Assassin's Creed Valhalla managed to beat Call of Duty's Cold War, in the UK at least, in terms of sales, and now that it is definitely a title that I would like to buy myself, especially since I'm sure most of you would like to know how it runs on the new MSI Ventus 2X OC RTX 3070 that I just bought. Man, it feels so bad to say that name every time, but you know what? Maybe I'll actually manage to get my hands on this game, so do make sure you're subscribed, and in the meantime, you can go and follow me on Twitter or check out crowd.com, because this episode is now over. This has been Alex with the Red Elk, signing off. Bye.